Now, in a world filled with competition, tons of competition, where customers are constantly bombarded with choices, standing out can seem nearly impossible. Now, the key to not just standing out, the key is you. It's your personal story, it's your journey, it's your experiences. This is the heartbeat of your unique value proposition. So today we're going to talk about your unique value proposition as it relates to including your personal story. Those of you who are here with me live, hey Jesse, hey VC, greetings, happy holidays. We're going to jump into this really quickly, and if you guys are here with me and you have any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer that. So first, just again, as we reiterate, this is all about your personal story of your unique value proposition, which means what it's unique to your business. So we did a series of videos over the course of the week. So we did identifying your target market, understanding your unique position, articulating the prompt that you saw, then a couple of others. So if you haven't seen those, please, I encourage you to watch those. Those videos are in the description box. But today we're talking all about you and how you incorporate that into your story. So incorporating your personal story into your business message isn't just about sharing. It's about creating a brand that resonates, that speaks directly to the hearts of your customers. It's not about transforming your business from a faceless It is about, transforming your business from a faceless entity into something that's breathing, something that people can just help but be a part of. And ultimately, that is what you want to do when you are talking about including your story into your business. And I know if you're a private person, you may be thinking, well, I don't want to tell my business. And I get it. You don't have to tell all your personal business, but you do have to let your customer know why they should want to do business with you. And a lot of times your personal story will help with that. Okay. So let's just talk about some reasons why you want to include your personal story into your brand and your message. And the first one is to build authenticity and trust. So again, in a world where customers have every type of messaging coming toward them every single day, your personal story is what can cut through the noise. What you share, your journeys, your struggles, your victories, it humanizes your brands and your business. And this makes it more relatable and trustworthy. Now, people tend to do business with companies and brands that they like. And if they don't know anything about you or your business, then it's a little bit harder to foster that relationship. So if you include a lot of your personal story, it also helps with your credibility. So think about that. And next, it helps differentiate your brand. This is the biggest thing because your personal story is unique to you. So when you think about competitors, there aren't any as it relates to your story. So granted, someone can be selling the same products, the same services, but you may do it a specific way for a reason. And including that in your marketing message is really critical because it can help your potential customers bond with you and want to do business with you. And of course, another reason is to engage and inspire your audience. Okay, so your personal stories can often deeply resonate with your audience because they can see a part of themselves in your story. And if your story includes challenges, innovative thinking, or anything that it can serve as inspiration, right? So a lot of you know this brand that you're looking at right now is a result of me sharing my personal story, me sharing my personal journey of leaving America, moving to Europe by myself, not knowing what I was doing at all. And many people from here followed me through those challenges and those mistakes. And so because of that, I've identified, made friends, we've developed this whole community. But that wouldn't have happened if I didn't have a personal story. So I don't want you to think that it has to be just a personal brand. It can also, of course, be your corporate brand. So let's just talk about, some companies that have done it, of course, right? So when you think about personal brands, you see this group here, they all own businesses. You can see their face. You probably know the personal story of everyone and more business owners who have shared that, right? It may have even inspired you to want to purchase their product, or it may even wanted you inspired to attend a conference or do something that was associated with them. Why? Because you know their personal story. If you look at Jeff Bezos, you know that, he started off in a garage. He started off in very humble beginnings before everything got big. Same with Oprah. Same, all of these people, you know their personal story. And whether you know it or not, their personal story is probably what inspired you or why you know about their brand. So even if we take the individual off of the table, you can still look at the brand's logos and businesses and still know who the individual person is that is associated with those companies. I'm hoping that you see how powerful that is when you are incorporating this into your business. Someone can know you and know about your story, but you still have a business brand. So this is not just for personal brands. This is also for your business, okay? So let's just talk about, let's say there's two people that are selling the same product, right? And one person is selling, no, they're both selling the same product. I'm tripping. I'm live. I can't edit, so my head is crazy. They're selling like homemade skincare. So one person is telling you this homemade skincare, it moisturizes your skin. They're listing all the features and benefits. My name is such and such, buy my product, right? Where the next person is saying, listen, I came up with this because I had eczema. I have tried everything. I was making my own recipes in the kitchen. I was taking all types of natural ingredients and putting it on the pot and doing this. And I finally found something that could work for me. Do you see how those messages are different? One is just listen, features, benefits, great, cool, great. If I got dry skin, great. But another person is telling their personal story that inspired them to make this product. And so if you are a person who identifies, let's say you have eczema, you're like, oh, maybe I can try that. Or because I have eczema, I know that certain chemicals and certain things can hurt my skin, and this person, it may work for them because they shared their personal story. And so oftentimes you may be going through something in your life right now. And you're thinking, why am I experiencing this? Why am I going through this? Why? And it could be because you're supposed to inspire somebody. Yep. Somebody was supposed to hear that. So if you're going through something, then maybe your story, your testimony is what inspires you, right? So for many of you, if you've been following me and rocking me, you know that I've been through the gamut. I had a company that fell apart 2 decades ago, and I had to start all over and just what that meant. And part of that was even in my messaging of everything I do, a starting over or pivoting or doing whatever necessary. That's the whole brand of Driven Spice. It's driven because I'm ambitious and I'm going to do what I need to do, but it doesn't stop the fear and the other things that come along with that. So if you are going through something and you feel something and it inspires you in your brand and in your business, share that so people can understand where you're coming from and identify with you, right? Okay, so and when we do this, and we're not going to be on here too long, but if you have questions, y'all know I'm here for you. I want you to think about the questions you need to ask yourself so that you can bring this out and incorporate this into your brand, right? So let's go into that. The first question I want you to ask yourself is, what are my origins, right? Think about where you come from. What significant experience from your childhood, early life has shaped who you are? Could it be where you're literally from geographically? Could it be, something your grandmother used to tell yourself? Whatever that thing is, think about your origins. Are you, from the deep South and it was a small town? How does that affect your business? How does that affect the way that you do things? Okay. Number 2, what challenges have I overcome? Everyone has challenges, right? And if you were doing things in a certain business, even if we're thinking in the corporate area, and let me just give you another quick example, because I forgot this example, because again, this is live and I can't, not just the skin products that we were talking about. And how did I get that out? Also, is that gone? There we go. Also, let's say you were doing career coaching, because I don't want you to think that the personal branding and the message is just for those who have coming through some type of triumph, right? I want you to also see the corporate correlation. So let's say you have 2 people who are both selling career coaching. And you have one person who says, I do career coaching. I make sure that all my clients get 6-figure bonuses and stocks and options. I make sure that I position them in front of companies that will see their worth. Basically, again, your features and benefits of what you do for your client. versus a career coach to say, listen, I was an executive. I understand how sometimes you can get shortchanged. I've seen so many people who have gotten hired even when I was hiring them, and they just didn't know the questions to ask, and they undersold themselves or whatever. You have that inside knowledge. So if someone hears your personal story, your personal motivation, they're more likely going to go with you than someone just listing their, features and benefits. Okay, so I almost forgot about that. Good thing that I came back to it, because I didn't want to miss that point. So for those of you who think it's just for like personal brands, it's not. Okay, so again, what are your challenges and what have you overcome? This overcoming thing is really big. Like, sometimes we really underestimate all the drama we have gone through in our life to come out and be the person that we are today, right? Because whenever you share your story, somebody else can hear it and be inspired. And like I said, when we talk about those brands of people, we know their story, even though we, in addition to know their companies, right? So think about how you can incorporate that in your business. What are my core values? Listen, you have got to have some core values. You can't just be out here with no integrity and just not being transparent, because if you're putting that into your business, it's going to show. It's going to show at some point. So if you have core values, make that super, super clear in your brand messaging. Considering the values that are most important to you, how do these influence your business? How does this influence your business in the practice and the relationships that you have with your customers? Okay, next we have what inspired me to start my business? And for those of you who have been in business for a while and you may feel like you're stuck or you're in a rut, you may have to go back to this question. You may absolutely need to go back to this question. What inspired me to even start my business? Particularly when all the business tasks that weren't the real reason why you started your business. Like when you want to, do something, but yet you still have to deal with administration. You have to deal with employees. You have to deal with HR. You have to deal with shipping and all these other things. You're like, no, right? So you want to remember, why did you start your business? Look back at what motivated you and what it made you embark on this journey. What were the specific events that happened that made you realize that this needed to happen? And put that into your messaging. What unique perspective do I bring to my industry? And sometimes if you're struggling with imposter syndrome, or you're struggling thinking, should I do this? There is no one else that can be you. So your unique perspective is needed in a world of just stuff is out there, right? Your unique perspective is important, particularly if you experience some obstacles and you have some triumphs. You are able to offer a perspective that people can understand, and it's transparent, it's legitimate. It's not you just making it up. So what may have seemed like an obstacle to you, and it sure feels like it when you're in a moment, it can absolutely be an inspiration for someone else. So it's so easy to look at all of these billionaires who have these large companies, and you heard about their humble beginnings and now they're billionaires. But that didn't happen overnight. And so when you look at that, consider that in your own life. Like you ain't get the billionaire status yet, but it's okay. You getting it, right? So be sure to share those types of perspectives and that information. So what unique perspective do you bring to your industry specifically? Think about what sets you apart. And this can be controversial. Is there something in the industry that people typically go in this direction that you think they just absolutely should not do? I'm queen of, look, let me tell you pluses and minuses. You do whatever you want to do with that information, you can do with it because you're an adult. But if I know about it, I'm going to tell you what you should consider, because that's important. Not everybody's going to do that. So for people for me who value my brand, they value transparency and being truthful. So if that comes off, if that's one of your values, put that in your brand. What experiences and insights do you have that are unique specifically to you? I share specifically my mistakes that I personally make. It doesn't mean that somebody else is going to make them, but it possibly that somebody who's walking down a similar path will avoid those mistakes and be able to progress a lot faster because they know the mistakes that they could have made that now they're not going to. Okay? All right, next we have number 6. How has my personal journey influenced my business approach? How has that done that for you personally? Reflect on how your personal experiences have shaped your approach to your business, your customers, and your product and your development, and share that. No one's going to know how it affected if you don't include that into your messaging. Okay? And last couple questions. What success and failure have I experienced? Now, I know in the world of the internet, it can give you the impression that you have to be perfect, and that is so far from the truth. Consider your highs and your low points in your career, and how have those moments contributed to your current approach and philosophy? It's usually the hard times, the low times that end up making you the person that you are. And relish in that. Be proud of that, because that's also what makes you different. Somebody could have had the same experience that you have and they turned into a horrible person, or they turned into a great person, or they did whatever their experience is that's unique to them. You have your own experiences and they're unique to you. So how does those successes and failures mold who you are and how your business operates? And lastly, what impact do you want to make? I think this is a super important question, right? When it's all said and done, I think, of course, if you're running a business, you want to make sure that you are making money, right? That's important. But you also want to make sure that you are having some type of impact. And if you lead with that, the impact that you want to put on your brand, your legacy, what have you, it's a lot easier to focus on that than anything else, because you can stay in that value system and make sure that you're delivering what you want because of the impact that you want to give to the world. It's not in the narcissistic form of marketing, right? It's the way of making sure that you give value to the world, right? So those are the questions I want you to think about. And so again, this is video 5, I think, of the unique value proposition that we've been doing over the course of the last couple weeks. And tomorrow we're having the last quick little workshop of saying how to keep everything that we talked about, how to keep that very simple and clear to your, did I put the right date? I did. Put that very clear to your audience, keeping it simple and clear. So your target market, all of that stuff, we're bringing it all together tomorrow. So if you have questions from anything that we've been going over, write them down, share them with me. For anyone who's here with me live, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. I would be happy to talk about you or your business. And if not, we will end it out and I will see you guys tomorrow. So Jess says honesty is the best policy. Absolutely. And hard times build character. They absolutely do. And for those of us who are experiencing it right now, because the world is a crazy place, I've gotten some of you guys emails about how just career and life is changing. And in some cases, you may feel like, what is going on? And I get it, right? So that's kind of why we did this series, so that if you have to go out there and become an entrepreneur when before you an employee and you don't know how to transition, this unique value proposition is definitely where you need to start. Identifying your target market, understanding how you're going to solve a problem to your consumer and what your potential customer, and what you can do specifically. Okay. So next week we'll get into more implementation, not necessarily on the unique value proposition, but on other aspects about travel and running a business, because some of you have shared some information as to how to kind of manage that. So we don't have any questions. Jess, you needed that. Good. I hope it made you feel good and inspired. And understand, guys, life is going to be easy, but just remember, it's not going to be easy. Life is not always easy. It's hard. It's hard. But there's going to be a time when you look back and it's like, gosh, I understand why I went through that. But it's also important to share that with someone so they can feel human. Okay. So we're talking about how to put your personal story into your business and brand. So please answer those questions. The questions in the other videos, answer those, and then we'll come together later and we can do maybe a live Q&A. Talk to me in the comments. Let me know what you need. So if you don't have any questions, we are out. See you till next time.